Water lapping, cloth slapped on a smooth stone. A child's laugh carried across the current. What stories hide in the folds of a washed sarong? Close your eyes and imagine that river edge sound. Today, on Ancient Echoes, we walk the rhythms of washing days in Cambodia, where everyday laundry becomes a map of memory, kinship, and ritual.
Listen closely. Already you hear layers of life. A woman sorting bangles into a tin, elders folding white cloth for a ceremony, a youth passing gossip between rinses. The layers matter. Small practices reveal big meanings.
Welcome to Ancient Echoes. I'm Sam Nang Bradley. This episode is a monologue in shape, an audio walk, but I'm glad to have Rachana with me to point out cultural threads. Today's central question: how do acts of cleaning and airing garments shape social life, memory, and seasonal timing in Khmer communities?
As we explore that, we'll move through places and practices, riverbanks and communal tubs, rooftop lines and laundromats, the ritual washes before ceremony, and the ways clothing carries stories across migration and generations.
Cold, open, complete. Let me set the scene historically. For centuries, laundering in Cambodia has been shaped by place. Rivers and streams were the first washhouses, public, rhythmic, and communal. In villages, the riverbank is both workplace and social square. In towns, shared tubs or washing steps by water channels create different routines. Place shapes technique. The way you beat a hemp cloth against a stone differs from how you treat a silk sampat under a rooftop sun.
From a cultural standpoint, this matters because washing practices carry etiquette and memory. When you see rooftop lines in the city, that spacing, the order of garments, even the time of day, these are small signals about household rhythms, who's at home, and seasonal adjustments. The research tells us that place is not neutral, it's a cultural actor.
Now, imagine a walk with me through a washing routine. First, collect. Water in buckets, pots, the river's edge. Then soaking, a cloth laid flat to soften years of dust or new rice stain. Beat, the percussion of laundering. Rinse, the water carries away more than dirt. It carries gossip, prayers, jokes. Starch and sun-bleach follow for white ceremonial cloths. Each step is sensory, the slap of fabric, the metallic scent of riverstone, the hot hush under a noonday sun.
Let me contextualize a few local terms: sapai for scrubbing, sob for rinsing, and chmolth home as the big drying spread. These words map techniques to place and community knowledge. Anthropologically speaking, language and technique travel together.
And there are tactile tricks, using sand or ash for stubborn stains, folding sarongs in a particular triangular tuck to speed drying, or placing certain garments on shaded rafters to protect embroidery. These are practical solutions, but they also become family lore. My mother taught me this fold, and suddenly a cleaning method is a memory bridge.
That leads us to clothes that carry stories. White cloths folded for mourning, wedding silks brought out once a year, a migrant's worn work shirt. Garments are repositories of events. Washing can mean renewal. Sometimes it is care that honors the person who owned that piece. The cultural significance is that laundering is never purely domestic. It is moral work.
Consider how a wedding garment is treated. Layers of rinsing to protect dyes, careful placement where incense smoke won't touch it. Or how ordination garments are washed a certain number of times on specific days, tied to lunar calendars. These are deliberate rituals folded into daily tasks.
The deeper story is that gender and labor weave through these practices. In many households, washing is primarily women's work, yet this labor creates informal economies, barter of folded rice, mutual childcare loaves shared across tubs, apprenticeships where girls learn stitch and mend from elders. We must be careful not to romanticize this labor. It is skilled, social, and often uncompensated.
Exactly. We talk about rhythms, the early morning runs to the river to beat cloth before the sun climbs, the lull mid-afternoon when heat does the bleaching, the wash days tied to festival schedules. Time itself is structured by washing. Who can leave the house to go to fields? Who must stay for the communal scrub? How kinship obligations are fulfilled with a simple wash visit.
There's also exchange. When a woman can't make it to the river, a neighbor's tub becomes a site of reciprocity. When young people migrate for work, their shirts return home in suitcases and are washed with a hunger for connection. Faded fabric stitched back into family quilts. That pattern shows us how laundered cloths are also currency of belonging.
Let's talk seasons. The monsoon reshapes everything. Currents that were safe become dangerous, so washing moves to rooftops or community laundromats. Sun bleaching becomes fierce and fast when the dry season hits. Certain garments are washed only before particular festivals, preparing a white skirt for an ordination, drying wedding scarves so they shine in procession.
As we unpack that, consider how urban change and diaspora transform rhythms. Machines and laundromats speed tasks, but social meanings persist. A commuter might drop a sarong at a cooperative laundromat and still meet neighbors to fold clothes in the evening. Diaspora families in Phnom Penh or overseas recreate drying lines on balconies, preserving the gesture of airing memory.
This shift raises practical field ethics. If you're a traveler or a researcher, how do you document washing spaces respectfully? We suggest short consent phrases you can use in Khmer and English, simple, clear language to ask permission and offer to share images for approval.
2 short phrases for listeners. In Khmer, say, Som ompia vinyo tha knyom ai thot rupan te, which means, may I take a photo, and add, Knyong nung pnya oi mul, I will send you what I take. In English, may I take a photo? I will share the image with you first. These are small acts that preserve dignity.
Good guidance. Also, anonymize faces if requested, photograph lines or hands rather than people, and never enter private compounds without explicit invitation. For safety, avoid river currents during monsoon, and consider community-run laundromats or cooperatives if you want to observe without imposing.
We also want to avoid romanticizing unpaid work. Speak with people about what assistance looks like, sometimes cash, sometimes shared childcare, sometimes training that turns skill into income. Highlight stories of agency, where women turn mending into small businesses, where cooperatives form to protect workers' time.
If you're listening as part of the diaspora, listen for the textures that remind you of home. The smell of sun on cotton, the noise of a neighbor's tap, the particular tuck of a sampot fold. These domestic textures carry continuity. They help hold memory while people and places change.
For heritage travelers, a practical prompt. Next time you walk a neighborhood, notice 3 details: the way clothes hang, the order of washing tools on a ledge, and who comes to help. You can audio record the sound of water with consent, short clips of splashing, folding, the cadence of wash day. Then, if you share, keep captions modest. Name place, give credit, ask permission to tag.
Before we close, a short story. A young man I met folded his mother's old work shirt into a parcel when he left for the city. Years later, he sent the shirt back, washed and mended by a neighbor. That shirt carried his leaving and his return. It was a ledger of affection. These little acts of care, beat, scrub, mend, compose a different kind of history.
That's the heart of it. Laundry is not trivial. It's a social ledger, a ritual, a labor of love and survival. The complexity here is that these acts are everyday and sacred at once.
We've covered places, steps, stories, labor, seasons, and ethical practice. If you'd like to practice listening at home, try this. Close your eyes, play a short clip of water, and imagine the hands and voices tied to that sound. Notice what you assume. Then ask, who owned this cloth? What might they want us to know?
And if you want to share what you find, please use respectful captions and consent language. Tag Ancient Echoes, and if you're posting a visual, tag Samnong's YouTube for curated reels. Offer to send edits to anyone pictured and anonymized if requested. Remember, permission is part of preservation.
Thank you for walking these washing days with us. Next week, we'll look at mending traditions, the needlework that extends life and memory in Cambodian homes. Until then, take a quiet moment to notice the textures that hold your own memories.
Let's unlock the echoes of history together.
Sân ca mình lát lâu lộng lại mà từng hôm hát say ê không chỗ xa hơn ta sẽ lâu chết đi hỏi nhét lung cho cha lưng sẽ na cầm đi prai đông khai yam chia san say lý ngamเป็นไสไสบ้านเป็นปีขยามใครลงปันอ่อนกันสลิลโฮคานมอลันโซสเวงกรีนครามสันมันใสคิดจานเกระโร